Have you ever wanted to play an equipped deck in Vanguard? Because after 11 years, you now can. Today we're going to be talking about Bavsargra, the value deck that excels at defense and is able to make better use of Eugene support than Eugene can. Thanks, Bushiroad. The goal is to abuse the ride line for free value, then immediately dual equip on turn 3 for large amount of pressure, all while calling units out for free with Bavsargra skill. Let's get to the deck list. Our two main front row units are Blaze Dragon Adarla and Twin Bullet of Duster and Travis. We're running 3 sealed Adara as both a recursion option and a secondary method to dual equip weapons. The main value of re-equipping is being able to trigger Bavsargra skill to call a unit out of drop and soul charge one. Travis is Eugene support, but since Bavsargra retires the opponent's front row, we can abuse Travis skill to have a free back row retire, soul charge, and a 20k unit. Basically, Travis does everything the deck's own support doesn't do. Our two back row boosters are sealed Blaze Dragon Ishita and Trick Moon. Ishita is a 13k booster on turn 3, and Trick Moon is a free 25k booster on turn 3, and can also provide countercharging when placed from drop with Bavsargra skill. Both of these units are nuts and are incredibly consistent and recurable thanks to our Vanguard. As such, we run 4 of each to help this deck hit big numbers. For our left arms lineup, we're abusing the fact that Shield is both searchable and unremovable to get away with only 1 left arms. Shield is a simple once per your opponent's turn, gain 10k attack. It's a free guard against decks like Magnolia, and you're gonna need it. For our right arms, we're running 4 spear and 1 sword. Both shield and sword do the job of buffing our Vanguard by 10k. However, spear lets us play an extra arms to let us rush first grade 3, and sword can deal an extra damage if our opponent is below 4 damage. This means that spear is almost always the better option, but if our opponent is early guarded against us, we can punish them with sword. For triggers, we're running 7 crit 4 draw. This is because the deck leans defensive and wants a lot of pieces. Draws help with both. On the mulligans, basically we're looking for every unit to keep in hand. The front row units are typically more important, but Trick Moon is above them. Typically, you want a spear in hand to go off turn 3, keep PGs and crits for relevant matchups, PGs for Gravidia and crits for Barrow and Orphis, but put back Sword and Shield. They're searchable off our ride line, so there's really no point in keeping them in hand on the matchups. This deck can do okay in the prison. Not great, but not the worst thing ever. Magnolia can sprint through our deck, as well as a lot of the other strong decks this format. If I had to put this deck on a tier list, I'd put it at low A, high B. On the deck rating, this deck is a 3 attack deck. Even if it can hit very high numbers, it can only put an extra crit on 1 unit, the Vanguard. This deck can deal a free damage, but that skill is not guaranteed to go off, and the requirements for its use usually indicate you're a little behind. 3 out of 5 on power. This deck is live turn 3. 3 out of 5 on speed. This deck has excellent mindless retire pressure, so it's one of the 5 decks that can do it this format to little effect. Cool, 3 out of 5 on control. The deck searches for free with the ride line, and can find basically everything it needs from this deck by turn 3. Easy 5 out of 5 on consistency. This deck can flex very well into every matchup thanks to the different abilities of the arms. The deck can also tech a lot of generic support in Dragon Empire. 5 out of 5 on versatility. This deck gets free searches and rides thanks to the ride line. The shield gives us free guard. This deck has ridiculous amounts of soul charge and free counter charging as well. This deck can call units from drop over and over and over again, so I'm going to have to give that a 4 out of 5 on value. Overall, this deck has probably become my favorite deck this format. Sure, Seraph Snow is better, but this deck creates long games and lets me pivot my strategy every game to play how I feel like I need to play. I have to recommend this deck to anyone who likes more mid-range games or just wants to play build a Vanguard and Overdress. Thanks for watching. I think I'm thinking about either doing a Bruce or Barrow deck profile or just doing a tier list. Everyone loves tier lists. If you love TCG content, don't forget to subscribe. It helps me do more stuff with the channel. See you next time.